Hi guys, so we should be live now. So the usual story, we'll leave in a minute or two, let a couple more people join in. Okay, so you just want to get warmed up a little bit yourself. A few people coming in there. So like I usually say, don't tell Martha you see me using the brush. She doesn't know I know how to work one. It's actually something that we'll need for the session today, the brush handle, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Okay, so guys, just go through the plan quickly. What we're going to do today is focus on kicking, so like we've done for the last 2 weeks. So 2 weeks ago, we start with front kicks, and last week we done side kicks. Today we're looking at roundhouse kicks. So in a way, it's putting the kicks from the last 2 weeks together, because with a roundhouse kick, your leg has to come up and then has to turn. So you have to be able to move your leg to the side and also rotate your hip inward. So the frog we've been doing for the last couple of weeks should work well with that. We're going to do a nice quick warm up. We're going to do our stretching at the wall. We're going to do the strength work a little bit different today. So we're going to mix it together a little bit more, okay? And our shadow fighting, the good news is we've less rounds. The bad news is the rounds are longer. So we're going for 40-second rounds today. And then we're going to finish with a new mobility drill. So some people from the Saturday class will be familiar with it. What you'll need for it, guys, is a brush or a brush handle or a mop. The brush can still be attached to it. Just something that you can put across your back like this. And we'll get to that later. So we'll just fire straight into the warm-up. I just need to make sure the camera is at a good height. That should be okay. So, guys, what we'll do, start with our feet about shoulder distance. You're going to squat to the bottom, hands to the floor, and you're just going to walk your hands out as far as you can. You walk back, you go to a squat, and we come back up. So the same, we squat to the bottom, we walk out, nice and slowly at the end. And as you move back, keep your knees close to the ground. At the bottom, just sit here in the squat, keep the body tall, we'll go again. So you squat to the bottom, we walk out. We walk back in. We come up, we'll do one more of those. From here, you don't need to walk all the way back now. Just walk so that your shoulders are over your wrists, okay? And we're going to go to our stomach. Will you still see me here? Maybe a different angle. So we're to our stomach here. Put our feet about shoulder distance, push up, then rock our head back between our arms. So push your heels towards the ground, keep your knees straight, feel a bit of stretch in the back of the legs. Let your head sink between your shoulders. Now you're going to put your nose close to the ground, and we're going to come forward and up. So we'll lead with our butt, rock back, heels to the ground, and think like going under a fence where your head close to the ground. And we push up. And at the top position here, big chest, shoulders down, we'll go again. Heels to the ground, nose to the ground, and come forward. And again. From here, just go to our 6-point position. So hands, feet, and knees, and just rock a little bit. So bend your toes back, put some weight onto the knees as you roll forward, some weight onto the wrists and onto the shoulders. Sitting in the middle, and our cat camel. So chin to our belly button, and eyes to the roof. We'll stay here and we'll work our bird dog. So fingers forward, heel backwards. And don't bring your hands in Foot straight to the ground, touch your elbow and knee, and then we'll come down. And we'll switch. So elbow to knee, knee to elbow, and we come down. This time on the way up, touch elbow and knee. So elbow and knee together, reach out, elbow and knee together, and then to the ground. And switch, elbow, knee, extend, elbow, knee, and to the ground. Put your insteps on the ground, just rock your butt back, one hand on the back of your head, and don't let our arm move. We want the movement coming from upper body. So elbow to knee, and elbow to ceiling. So what you want to do when you bring that elbow to the ceiling, the eye that's furthest away from your elbow, you want to be looking at your elbow with that eye. So not the close eye, the one that's furthest away. And we switch. So no movement with the arm. The movement is coming from the upper body, the thoracic spine, elbow to knee. And then we open up. And we kneel up. Take our hands to the side. Try to keep your chin up. Big chest. Don't let your elbows come forwards. Any kind of clicks and cracks here will be good, as long as there's no pain. As I said last week, soreness is a different thing than pain. Discomfort is a different thing. And then our hands to the side, turning one hand over. Like we said, the 2 glasses of water, keep the glass of water facing up. So don't let your palms turn over. Oh, nice click there. And switch side to side. So because your hands are moving as little as possible, the movement is sent up the chain. You can see how much your shoulders move, as opposed to just doing this, where the movement's coming from your wrist. Good. We'll go back to our press up position. So this will be a bit tricky for people who haven't done it before, so we'll go a bit slow. Take one foot beside your hand. Take the hand closest to the foot up and kick the leg through. I'll come higher so you can see. So you come back, foot back, hand back, foot back. We'll go the same side again. So foot beside a hand comes up, kick your foot through. Foot back, hand back, foot back. Let's go the opposite side. So foot, take the hand closest to the foot up and kick through. Foot back, hand back, foot back. There's kind of element of twister to this. And just continue. And as you're going now, look to speed up a little bit. So I'm going to kick through, rock back to that press up position, and switch. To be light on your feet, keep the ear away from the shoulder. Good, and relax. So guys, just a quick warm up there. We're going to go straight into our kicking at the wall, okay? Like we've been saying the last couple of weeks, with stretching, before the session, before you get into kicking, we work dynamic stretching. So our legs moving fast, keeping that elasticity. At the end of the session is where we work more the static stretching. So we'll go to the wall. You see me? Toes, hips, shoulders, everything to the wall. And it's a dynamic move. So not a lift, a swing. So swing that leg straight back. Try to be aware of where your body is. So you're keeping the toes facing down. You're keeping your shoulders facing the wall. Good, we'll switch legs. So the first couple of weeks when we were going to the wall, I was saying do 10 kicks and I was counting them precisely. Now I'm getting back to being like more of a class instructor where I say go and I forget to count or forget to start the stopwatch. So we'll say that's about 10 kicks there. And what we're going to do this time, start position is the same and we're going to turn our hip over. So you'll see this coming out in the roundhouse kick in a few minutes. Hip face towards the wall at the start. The end, it's like a 3/4 turn or 1/4 turn. So one eye looking over your shoulder. Good. We switch sides. Good. And now we're going to go for a side kick. So just to show the position that you want to be in, I'll use the wall. Here, my heels, my glutes, my shoulders are touching the wall, and I'm swinging my leg. That's what we want. So take that done sideways. You can see I still have that straight line on my back. What happens sometimes when people start to swing their leg, their butt sticks out, or they lean backwards too much. So try as much as possible, keep that tall body. Don't force your leg up, but make it a swing, and at the top, your foot is sideways. Okay, let's go. Touch your heel. So putting the camera down really low is a good idea. It makes my kicks look even higher. Good. Let's switch sides. So body tall, just let that leg swing. Every time you swing, touch your heels together. Good. So we've gone backwards, we've gone sideways. Let's go to the front. So your body's tall. Keep this heel on the ground. Just swing your foot up. Good. We'll switch sides. Just let your legs swing. Keep the body tall. Don't worry too much about the height of the kick. It's more about keeping good technique. So this is how we stretch at the start, because you're putting the muscle through a bigger range of motion, but it's working the way it'd be working if you're kicking. It's stretching and retracting. Good. So, guys, we're going to start with front kicks, because that's what's going to lead us into our roundhouse. So what we done 2 weeks ago, I think we done the same last week. Starting our fighting stance, our hands up. We're taking our back leg and just kicking forward. So I'm going to say go. And guys, I want you to continue. I'll stop, give a few technical points, but you guys continue. Let's go. Make sure you're keeping your hands high. So kick, pull your foot back. Keep going, guys. So as you kick, focus on the knee. So if you lift your leg as one unit, you have to fold the body because your leg is heavy. Lift the knee, then kick straight forward. Make sure the hands aren't dropping. You're keeping your hands high, and we switch. Let's go. Good. We'll switch legs again. We're going to continue with the front kick. What's going to be different this time now is you're not going to be kicking and pulling back. You're going to commit your way forward, get a little bit more body weight behind the kick, but then we recover. So kick, but don't fall, because now you're exposed, you can't continue to attack. Kick, pull your foot to the ground in your stance. We shift back, and that will automatically switch legs. Keep the hands high, kick forward, shift back. Good. Okay, so guys, we're going to go to the roundhouse kick in a moment. Before we do that though, I want to have a quick run through the frog stretch. So most people can kick to the front. Even those leg swings, most people can do that quite easily. They have some degree of flexibility when it comes to kicking this way. Even like the least flexible people, that'll always be the direction they can move the most. But if you turn the target and you tell them to turn their leg over, what you see is instead of going to here, it starts going like this. So the side stretching is important, but the ability to rotate the hips is probably more important. So we'll have a quick run through the frog, which is nice and dynamic because we're going to be kicking in a moment, and then we'll get on to the roundhouse. So I'm just going to tilt you guys down a small bit. You can see. So for anybody who hasn't been training with us, straight line between our two knees, ankles behind our knees, body tall, and just rocking. So start with your hips between your knees, rock back, and just move forward. So we've been doing this at the end of the sessions and spending a bit longer on it today. We're just going to have a quick run through it. Bring the elbows to the ground. And again, just continue to rock. As you're moving, if you push your knee out a little bit, do that. Now from here, very important for our roundhouse, get our hip turning over, bring the bottom of our foot to the ceiling, push back and switch. You can see the way your hip is turning over. Think of that like the kicking leg. We'll look at the standing leg in a moment. People always think of the kicking leg, what that has to do. But in case you haven't noticed, your two legs are connected to each other. The standing leg can limit you as well. So if the standing leg isn't able to rotate out enough, you're not able to perform the kick very well. Rock hips back, turn over. We'll come back to our hands. We'll take one leg out, just a little bit of rocking. I did promise it was going to be a short round, didn't I? So we're here. Now this is the standing leg. So the standing leg needs to pivot. As you're kicking, we'll see in a moment, as this leg throws the kick, the leg on the ground pivots. So think of that happening here. That's pivoting. Rock your hips back here. My toes are lifting. That movement isn't coming from my ankle. It doesn't come from my foot. It's coming from the hip. Back to our two knees. Push your knees out. Switch sides. And then just rock a little bit again. I don't know if you can see, there's a big pen mark here on the ground. Stephen's godson done that. So now from here, open our hip. So we've a small video actually done for the Taekwondo guys on the frog. I'll send you guys the link as well, put it in the members group. And the other couple of mobility drills we've been doing, but it's one you can do every day or every second day, and you will see results. It's such a simple thing to say, but if you train and you work on something, you see results. And I'm working out with my kettlebells at the moment, and I'm looking around from 6 weeks ago, and the results are there. And it just comes down to just the simple things, just doing the work. So if you struggle a bit with kicking, now is the time to work on it. Do the frog once a day or every second day and try to get a bit of work done. Guys, we're going to go to the standing position, so I'm going to tilt this back up a little bit, and we're going to work to our roundhouse. So we'll forget about stance for a moment. All we're going to look at is the kick. So what I want to do is just stand facing sideways, eyes to the camera. You're going to use the closest leg, lift your knee, boom, and just kick. So with the roundhouse kick, depending what we're kicking, who we're kicking, why we're kicking, the part of our leg we'll use will be different. Sometimes we use our shin if we're quite close and we want to kick strong. We'll use the top of our foot, our instep, where we stretch the foot forwards. We use the ball of our foot. I'm barefoot now. It's easy for me to kick with the ball of my foot, or if I've got light shoes on. But realistically, if I've got heavier shoes or boots on and I'm kicking somebody, I have to kick them to the groin. If I know other choice, it's going to be the toes are going to be kicking. So top of the foot, the instep, the toes if you've got shoes on, the ball of the foot, or the shin. Pick whichever one you want for now. Okay. The target is sideways here. Like we said with the front kick, don't lift your leg. See, leg is quite heavy. As I lift my leg up to fall my body. So lift the knee and just kick in. Keep your hands high and just kick in. Just like this. As much as possible now, I want you kicking straight in. So we'll look at cutting the angle and kicking up later. Now we want to kick coming parallel to the ground. Yeah, parallel to the ground. Up and in. Just start to add a little bit to it. So get a bit of a kick behind it, not a swing. And the height doesn't matter. Okay, give somebody a nice kick in the knee. Okay, on the side of the knee, it'll probably do the job. So it doesn't have to be a head high kick. It doesn't need to be the ribs. We can kick to the groin. We can kick to the thigh. We can kick low. We can switch legs. And the same from the opposite side. And as you kick, start to notice what your standing leg is doing. You've probably been thinking about it, but most likely it's pivoting. And the reason it's pivoting is it needs to get that mobility. Try kick without moving that foot, and you end up folding, you end up losing a lot of power. Good. So we'll switch legs again. We'll come back to our fighting stance. Now we have to rotate slightly. So we're not going to get that perfect inward kick here. The angle will be cut slightly. You'll be coming a little bit more upwards and then turning. That's okay. Focus on the knee. So guys, like before, I'm going to talk. You guys continue. Focus on lifting the knee. Lift the knee, then kick. So it allows you to keep your body tall. It allows you to manage the distance. You can kick further away, or you can kick closer. The same now. Kick one, land off the backhand. Left leg, right hand. Good. We'll switch legs. And the same, so front leg. Just start with the kick first. So pay attention to your back leg again. See what it's doing. You see how rocking in the frog makes sense. Rocking in the frog. Now add in that backhand. Good. What we'll do now, we'll stay with the same leg. We're going to be kicking from behind now. So it's a little bit trickier. Just need to grab something, a little prop. So what to think of is that you're kicking over something. So if I lift my leg straight up, I'm going to kick the bin. I need to lift my leg over that. And that's going to allow me to create that angle coming straight in. Okay? So that's what I want you to start with. Again, don't worry about the height. And also, you're not going to kick straight to the front now. It's hard to get this knee high, spin all the way around and kick to the front. So for now, you're going to kick 45 degrees. It can be low. Just think of there being a low target here, a low wall you're stepping over. Think of the postman in the morning. He puts the letter in the wall and he climbs over the wall. He puts the letter in the door and climbs over the wall to get the other side. So, sorry, we have a special guest. Might have frozen.
Hi, everyone.
They can't hear you. She says hi.
Okay, I have the brush. Sorry, I'm just here to pick up the brush because I'm trying to brush the kitchen floor. Thanks.
Yeah, and I don't know how to do that. So, okay. So I'll lock the door the next time. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, so our back leg, we're talking the postman stepping over the wall. We need to lift that knee high. So your target now is here. It's low, it's to 45 degrees. You're kicking here. Pay attention to the standing leg. If you have the ability, you can start to take it up a little bit. If not, stay knee height, stay groin height. Good. Staying with the same leg, now we're going to bring the kick all the way to the front. The angle now won't go so wide. It's just not efficient to make this big circle. People can see it coming, it's too slow. You're going to cut the angle a little bit, bring your knees a little bit closer, and kick forward, and then rock back. Good. We'll switch legs. So we're going off our back leg again. Again, think of stepping over the wall. Hands high, 45 degrees. Now again, let's go to the front. Let's kick to the front. So keep going, guys. So you can see, as you're kicking, you're not lifting the knee so high. Keep going. Knees come a bit closer. It's more like a front kick. At the last moment, you pivot, and that foot on the ground is playing a big role. Good. And relax. So, one more drill to do before our water break with this roundhouse. One of the first sessions we done, we looked at backhand, front hook. So we looked backhand, front hook, backhand. And when it comes to striking, what you want is variation. So you want to Vary as many things as possible. If you're using the same hand from the same direction all the time, people figure it out. So you start bringing different attacking tools. Left hand, right hand. You start coming from different directions. Horizontally either way, upwards, downwards, straight in. You start going to different heights. So it's just too hard to see what's happening. With the roundhouse and with the backhand and the hook, an obvious next strike is another punch off the backhand. But that punch off the backhand, if you look, it's the same motion as that kick off the back leg. So if I'm fighting you, I'm sparring or I'm defending myself, and I throw a strike, 1, 2, you see this body movement coming, you think it's a punch, boom, and then the kick comes. In the same way, if I switch it around and I do 1, hook, backhand, you think the hook is coming next, hook, backhand as the body moves around, boom, it's actually a kick. So you can vary what you can use. Actually, I think in Conor McGregor's most recent fight, that happens. The guy gets hit with a head kick. I think he might think it's a punch is coming. He sees the body movement, and then the kick follows through, and that's what he gets caught with. Okay. So what we're going to do, start off just hook backhand, and then backhand hook. So let's go. So we'll stick with hook backhand. Hook backhand. So front hand, backhand. Now from here, 1, 2, lift the front leg roundhouse. Go. Good. Let's switch it around. So from here, backhand, front up. Let's leave the kick out for a moment. Let's go. One, two, boom, and that kick off the back leg. Let's go. 1, 2, 3. Boom, boom, boom. Good. So, guys, I'll give you a water break. If you're on YouTube watching this, put up a comment. Let me know. Let us know that you're here. Okay, that's the condition of getting a water break. So back in a minute. But who we got? Hi, Jack, Brian, Marek, Stuart, Esme, David. Hi, guys. There's that Paul. Do we not need a brush anymore? We do. I actually have my social distancing stick here as well. So you still need your brush. So, guys, we're going to move into our strength now. We're going to do it a little bit different today. So we're going to group it together. We're going to do 8, 6, 4, then 2 press ups. Squats are going to be 2, 4, 6, 8. Some burpees, because we had a few birthdays in the last week or two that we didn't celebrate. And then our marching from last week is going to be our active rest. So we'll start off with press ups. The usual story, you can go on an incline, you can go on a decline, hands shoulder width, hands close. What I would like you to do, guys, don't do press ups from the knees. If you struggle with press ups, you can do less of them. Instead of doing 2, 4, 6, you can do 1, 2, 3, 4 if you want. But even do like a half press up. The reason is A lot of time when people think of press-ups, they think it's an arm exercise. It is a chest and an arm and a tricep exercise. It's a plank. It's been able to stabilize your body as you move. It's usually not that people don't have the strength to push themselves up. They can't keep that core stable as they move. So that's talked enough. Let's get in and do our 2 press-ups. We come up, and we're going to do 8 squats, but they're going to be the 8 1.5 squats. So you're going to squat, halfway up, down, and up. That's 1. Okay, just do it with me. Halfway up, back down, and up. 1. Halfway, 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. And 8. Okay, so we're going to our burpees. Just with a little note on that first. I like to technically look at every element of the burpee. Sometimes you see people doing very ropey burpees. Okay, we're going to squat. You're going to jump to a stable position. So we don't want any flopping of the body when you jump your feet back. Stable. You're going to jump your feet back in. And again, when people jump, sometimes you see this. Straighten your body, clench your glutes, try to hit your head off the roof. So when you're here, you're up, you're going to land, you're going to drop to here. So let's go for our 5 burpees. Let's go. Don't trust the roof here. Good. Body tall, and we're marching. Like last week, no moving the body, don't lean forward. Lift that knee as high as possible. Pull the elbow back. Good, and we're down for 4 press-ups. Let's go. High tension. Let's go. We're up, and we are into our 6 squats. Yes. 2. 3. 4. 5. And 6. 5 burpees. So. Good. Body tall and marching 10 times. Good. And guys, we are down for 6 press-ups. And we're up 4 squats. Let's go. Four. Good. Burpees stay the same, so 5 burpees. Go. And body tall. And marching 10 times. Good. 8 press-ups. And we're up. Nice, easy 2 squats by 1.5. 1, 2. And guys, we're back to our 5 burpees, our last 5 of today. last time, body tall, our 10 marches. Good. Okay. So, guys, we'll go to our bat wings now. We're going to go to the wall. Just do like this simple thing. Shrug your shoulders. Do the opposite. That's what we want. So the shoulders down. And to try to push your body as far away from the wall as possible. Try to get your thumbs back as far as possible. So getting from here to there is a big difference. Let's get to the wall. Feet a little bit in front. Elbows tucked in. And a 10-second hold. Ready? Let's go. Good. We come off the wall. Just shake it a small bit. We'll go to the wall again. Ready? And let's go. Good. And just a little breather. We'll do one more set. So get in position, shoulders down, and let's go. Good. And we relax. So we'll go to our planks. We're going to do two versions today. So we're going to start off a regular plank where we lift one leg, lift the other, and then keep our 2 feet on the ground. And we're going to do it for some side planks. So forearms on the ground, we'll just shift back a little bit. And ready. We'll go here and we'll lift one leg. So I haven't frozen. Keep that heel high. Good, and we'll switch legs. So guys, if you're worried that it's going to freeze, if you're still here 5 minutes from now, it's frozen. If not, just keep down the planks. I go 2 legs. We'll hold this position for 30 seconds. More seconds. Good, and we relax. Good, so that's our front plank. Let's go to our side plank. So straight line from our shoulder all the way to our ankle. We're going to lift our hips as high as possible. I'll be going in 5 seconds. Ready? And let's go. So lift those hips high. Like you're doing your kicks to wall area, your shoulders, your hips, your ankles in one straight line. So like normally when we're in a class, I can watch people, I start to see by people's face how hard this is. I have no idea how hard this is now. So just try to keep going. Keep your hips high. I'm going to make it harder now in a few seconds. Lift this leg. Keep this knee straight. Looks like my knee is bent, but just my crab button falling down. Good, and we relax. A little breather. We'll switch sides. The straight line from the shoulder back to the ankle. Ready? And let's go. So keep your hips nice and high. Don't let your butt drift back. Lift that foot. Again, don't let the hips drop. A few roundhouse kicks in here. Go down, relax. Okay. So guys, we are going to, I hate Frank. So we're going to go to our rounds now. 40 seconds on, 30 seconds off. We'll keep the same break as before. What I want to do, guys, quick water break. If you want to stick your gloves on, you can do that. How long will we be going now? 41 minutes. Okay, so guys, we're back in. What I want for our shadow fighting today is to look at bringing our kicks in now. So bring the roundhouse kick, bring the front kick in, like we've been working on the last couple of sessions. And look at tying your hands and feet together. Okay, look at tying your combos together. So our basic hand combos can be like 2, 4, 6 with our hands. It can be 1, 3. It can be some of the stuff where you attack, you get off the line, you come back in, you backhand, front hook, you roll away, you come back front hook, backhand. Sometimes people struggle to think what to do with shadow fighting. Just think of the pad work drills we do in the class and put them in. Try to work what we done earlier. So what we done was backhand, front hook, back leg. We done front hook, backhand, front leg. You can even switch around. So you can kick one and you can land. Basically think of going left, right, left. So if your right hand punches, your left hand kicks. It just makes more sense. If you punch 1, 2, the leg on the opposite side of the body will kick. So we're starting in 10 seconds and we're going for a 40-second round. 5 seconds under stance. Keep your hands up, nice and intense, nice and strong. There's only 5 rounds today. Let's go. Good, and rest. Thirty-second break, and then we're in for another 40-second round. So try out when you're kicking, you're punching 1, 2, no break. You're punching, you're kicking, punch, kick, kick, no break between the kick and the punch. 5 seconds, ready, hands up, let's go. And fine. 2 rounds down. So 30-second break. Then we're in for another 40 seconds. I'm glad I've got farmer next week. I'm watching the clock and I'm trying to remember how many rounds we've done, what the break is, and how long we need to work. Ready? 5 seconds. Let's go. Fine. We're coming for round 4. Ready? 3, 2, 1, let's go. Good, fine. Last round. Again, goes up the intensity. It's only 5 round sets. An extra 10 seconds is not much. So put everything into this last round. 10 seconds. 5 seconds. Loads of kicks now. 3, 2, 1, let's go. 15 seconds. And so, good. Guys, gloves off. Quick sip of water will come in for our mobility. Okay, so guys, now is the time. Get your brush, get your mop. Okay, so guys, we have our live session every Wednesday. We also have some people on our strength, from our strength class doing our nutrition program, and they've got kettlebell and bodyweight workouts to do. And if you're looking for something to do more mobility-wise, we've got 3 videos on our YouTube channel. You see them here. Just 3 short videos, myself and Brian doing some different mobility stuff. They're good for warm-ups, and they're also good if you're just feeling a little bit stiff. Instead of just sitting down and resting, go for a walk, do one of the mobility videos, get yourself moving. On top of that, we usually work on 4 or 5 different mobility drills. So the couch stretch, which we done at the wall, the frog, which we done earlier, the Bretzel, which we done last week, and we'll come back to that, and the windmill stick. And like I said earlier, I'm going to be giving out some videos on them. The frog is looking at being able to turn our hips over and being flexible this way. The couch stretch is looking at the hips here. Okay, so a lot of time people are tight here, and then their back has to overwork to keep themselves tall. So it's about releasing the hips. And because we sit so much, that's one victim. Okay, so we end up with short, tightened hips. Another victim is our thoracic mobility. So your lower back, your lumbar spine has to be stable. Your upper back here should be mobile. And when you're sitting, driving, or you're sitting in the watching TV, or you're sitting at a desk, usually your shoulders kind of roll forward, the muscles in your chest are shortened, and you're not keeping the mobility here. And then sometimes people end up with shoulder problems or neck problems related to that. So if you have pain somewhere, a lot of the time, it's not the area that you've pain is the problem, it's above or below. It's that this area isn't doing its job, and the area above is feeling pain. Okay, so we're going to look at this windmill stick. Okay, and I find it a good one. It's one I try to do a couple of times a week. So what we're going to do first is tilt the camera down a little bit so you can see feet. So what we're going to do, sorry, let's go back. So what we're going to do first, guys, put our feet together, okay? And you're going to hinge. So it's not squatting. When you squat, you bend your hips and knees as much as possible and you go downwards. What we want to do here is bend our hips as much as possible, but bend our knees as little as possible. So if I keep my knees locked, that's as much as I can bend my hips. If I allow my knees to bend, see how now my hips are bending more. So that's what we want. And you'll feel a stretch in your hamstrings. So think of pushing your butt back to the wall behind you. So we're here, push your butt back. You start to feel a stretch in the hamstrings. Stand up tall, and at the top, just squeeze your glutes. And then we'll repeat. So just rock the hips back, push back nice and far. So we didn't do a hinge today. We didn't do our pelvic tilts as part of our strength work today. You can do them in your own time. But this is just a little bit of a hip hinge. So when you're deadlifting a kettlebell, when you're swinging, or a barbell, when you're swinging a kettlebell, when you're doing your pelvic tilts where you lie on the ground, we lift our hips, they're all hinge movements. So why we just do a few hinges there is just to feel our hamstrings a little bit. What I want you to do now is step 1 foot forward. So I'm going to turn to an angle so you can see. Keep our stance sort of narrow. So about 1 foot distance between your 2 feet. Okay, and what you're doing is putting your heel in line with your toes. And then you're going to hinge exactly the same. So you see I have my left foot forward here? I'm going to hinge as deep as I can. So push your butt back, don't turn yet. When you've hinged as deep as you can, whatever foot you have forward, you're going to turn that arm down. Your eye, that's nearest to the ground, you want to look at your eye hand. And the goal is to bring this elbow inside your knee. Mightn't go there straight away, just keep your butt sitting back. Take some deep breaths into your nose. And as you exhale, work on bringing that stick vertical. Your stick pointing to the ceiling and working that elbow inside the knee. So people from our strength class, you'll be familiar with this exercise with a kettlebell. We do our bench press. We also do our windmill where we work here. So keep your hips sitting back. Maybe you're nowhere near getting that elbow inside the knee. Okay, just stay where you are. So feel the stretch. Keep the hips pushed back. Breathe down deep into the stomach. Why you've got the stick across your back, it's giving you a good reference point and it's also stopping you just like cheating by moving your shoulder. So slowly come up out of that position. We'll bring our feet together and we'll work the opposite side. So we'll just go back and we'll hinge again. Just rock your hips back nice and deep. Feel that stretch in the hamstrings at the top, just squeeze your glutes. So rock the hips back, nice and deep. But now just turn to the opposite angle. So again, stance quite narrow, heel in line with the toes. I have my right foot forward, so rock back first. The error, sometimes you see people, they don't hinge back, and then we start to turn. So you're at low eye. So now my left hand is in the air. I'm trying to have my right eye looking back at the high hand. Breathe in, just allow yourself move into that stretch. And you're looking to bring your elbow inside your knee. Good, we'll come out of that. And I think we have just time just to do it very quickly again on the opposite side. So one more round each. So rock our hips back. And we just start to turn. So it's a good screen as well, this exercise, left to right. So if you find one side is easier than the other, you see one side maybe you need to work a little more on. If you find that you're out here on your left side, your right side, you can go a little closer. Maybe you need to spend a little more time on the left. A lot of things we do is just like it's a occupational hazard. Whatever you do for work, whatever you do, like even training crab, you punch and you kick with the same side a lot. It develops a bit of an imbalance. So when you do your mobility work, you do your strength work, that's the place where you don't work left to right. That's the place where you have to do everything equally. If you're sparring in crab and you're only kicking with your right leg, I'm not going to tell you to kick with your left leg just to balance out, maybe a little bit, but when it comes to defending yourself, if somebody's trying to stab you and you're kicking away with your right leg, we're not going to say no, kick with your left leg so you don't end up in an imbalance. So when it comes to mobility work, switch sides. When it comes to strength work, that's where you work. There usually will be a bit of an imbalance left to right. By working your mobility work and your strength equally, that just keeps the tolerance quite low. So it means that the bit of difference is not much. It doesn't let it get out of control. Keep your hips pushed back, your weight on your heels. And we'll come back up. Good. So we'll leave the brush and give the floor a bit of sweep. So, guys, well done. Okay, I'm saying well done. I assume you trained. You didn't sit on the couch and watch me. But I'm glad the sessions are going well. Okay, I'm enjoying them. If you have any requests, stuff you'd like to work on, let me know. I see Paul Keenan has requested planks there, so we'll have more of them next week. I'll try to dream up a few more variations. But the plan is to work kicking for the next couple of weeks, and also to work the rounds up a little bit. So next week, 6 rounds of that shadow fighting, and we'll bring some more kicking combos in. Okay, so thank you. Well done. Get out.